Alrighty. Now, hello everyone, this is Kiru's show here. And I left off, and I was waiting to get more response in the comments, and asking and seeing how people reacted to this, because I basically just jumped straight in. I didn't do any explanation, I just hopped straight into the anime, and people really seem to like it. One thing people keep asking for, though, is an Australian accent. And the whole simple thing is it's just part of his quirk, so if it's part of his quirk, I don't really care. So, he now has an Australian accent. But it's really hard to imagine a Japanese person with an Australian accent, so the universe is in English. So it now makes sense to everyone else. Now, since I am saying that, this would basically mean everything is in English, but we still don't know the year in My Hero Academia. All we know is it takes place 200 years around then of our current generation. Okay, now then. Snipe had announced to everyone that he actually took a shot at the vigilante, and they need to check every hospital in the city, if not around the city. Nezu is saying that there's not a chance of that because, due to the way this vigilante has been acting, he has not killed anyone. Although, beating the absolute shit out of them and breaking bones seems to be his specialty. He would not put it in those words, but that's basically it. So this vigilante does not seem to want to kill, he just seems to want to protect. He protect, but he attack, but most importantly, he get his Aussie back. I'm sorry, I just immediately saw that I needed to take the opportunity. Now then, because of that, they're saying that the vigilante probably didn't do that, but Snipe has gotten a blood sample. Nezu would have said that this blood would actually be perfect, but it seems that the vigilante may have coated it with something. Or it might just be the way his quirk might react to his blood. Now, this is whenever Nezu would try experimenting and seeing what his blood is actually doing, but he would just find that his blood's basically reacting to things, like certain mixtures and chemicals, things like that. So, let's cut back to Deku. Deku is actually, he's went to school, but he's been trying to take it easy, because the exact spot he was shot at was basically right behind your armpit, right there, around that area. Like, if you were to put your hand out and actually touch, the area behind your armpit, where the edge of your shoulder blades, you can actually tickle your armpit, but you just, move it back a bit more, and your fingers are right there. Now, that's actually the area he got shot at, so he's just been trying to take it easy on that arm. People would have noticed that Deku's kind of just being quiet, and he would just say that he's tired from playing a lot of video games. People would kind of just understand what he means, and this is whenever Deku, he would actually just go home for the day, and him and Toga are walking home. Now, she would probably actually go to the same school as Bakugo and Deku in this What If, after basically telling her parents that she met a boy and he was actually really nice to her. So I want to say they would at least try transferring her to different schools because of the way she acts a lot with her blood quirk and how she seems so obsessed with it, but she's finally obsessing over boys like a regular teenage girl, so they would just send her to a different school. Now, Deku would have seen Toga, and she's actually in the class next to his. Or, let's say they're at least in the same class. She would have introduced herself, and Bakugo would have seen her. And he would have just shrugged her off, but as soon as Midoriya kind of welcomed her with open arms, Bakugo would have actually reluctantly done the same. Now, Deku, he would have said that this is Hinata Toga. She's a friend of his that he met a while back. Bakugo would have known Deku mentioning her by name at least a couple times. So he would have just said that this is your girlfriend, right? Deku would have said no. She's just a friend of mine, while actually somewhat wanting to punch Bakugo in the face, with a little bit of a blush on his face. Now, this is whenever Deku or Toga would have just said that she's a friend of his that he was hanging out with yesterday. Deku would have hushed her or tried to get her to not talk, and everyone would have immediately started looking at them, as Deku would actually have to rush Toga out of the room, explaining that no one, not even Bakugo, knows he's a vigilante. And she would have asked if Bakugo is his childhood friend or not, because that's what she's heard him talk about. He would have told her that he is, but even Bakugo doesn't know. That we're going to be going to UA, but I just become a vigilante because I don't like dealing with a lot of things people say, or necessarily a lot of things that happen in my personal life. And he doesn't care that he needs a license to actually be a hero, but until then, he'll settle for being a vigilante. Now, this is whenever the teacher would have actually walked out, saying that class is about to start and they are going to be late in 3, 2, and as they're scattering in, they would get to their desk. Now, this is whenever Bakugo would do that whole speech about how him and Deku are both going to be in UA and how they're going to be the best. Or he's going to be the best while Midoriya comes at least a close second. Deku would have said that not even that could happen, Bakugo, because he's always going to beat him. Bakugo would say, yeah, right, you. Yeah, you know what he would say. Nerd. Deku would, in an Australian accent, say, you fucking what, mate? A sigh of defeat. Anyways. Okay, I can go to... No, I can probably cover the entrance exam. Okay, I know what I'm going to be doing this what if. Now then, Bakugo would say that Deku has always been trying to beat him, but Deku would just say that he's actually been figuring out more of his reaction time, and in fact, it's actually less than half a second. Its normal human reaction time has actually been 250 milliseconds, and I Googled it. You can train it to the point where it gets to 190 to 200 milliseconds, but the world's fastest reaction time is 0.15. I am pretty sure it was held by Bruce Lee, or it might have been beaten by someone. Well, Bruce Lee's record may have been beaten by somebody. But now then, this is whenever Deku would say that he's got his reaction time quite low. And what I mean by that is his reaction time, instead of being 0.15, it's between 0.7 to 0.10. Basically, he can be like the Flash for more than a second, but reacting to it is a bit slow. His eyes move faster, but his body doesn't. So he would always just be weight training and actually doing all that. So now then, during the 10 months, no, I'm stupid. On the way home, Toga and Deku are talking, and she's asking Deku if he can train her for the 10 months because of how her quirk is. And Deku is just saying that her quirk basically is a copy quirk or a perfect duplication quirk of somebody. So he wouldn't be able to help her train her quirk, but he can help her train her physical body. Because a lot of heroes, like Endeavor, he kind of basically copied All Might with the physical training because of how big and strong All Might was. And a lot of people actually seen All Might as an inspiration to train their physical body because of his enhancement. or his quirk. Now, this is whenever the sludge villain would pop out, and Deku would have turned his head after hearing the sound, and he would see the sludge villain slowly moving towards them as he would push Toga out of the tunnel and start dodging backwards to his left. The villain would fly past Deku as his quirk would turn off, and as soon as he would be confused, saying that that kid's pretty good, but he's going to get him this time, Toga would begin. Well, she would try and help Deku fight by pulling a knife and trying to slash at it, but she would immediately be caught. Deku would go in, and he's slowing down his mind, or slowing down his body, or speeding up his mind to the point where he can actually see in slow motion. Now, his mind is racing, and he's trying to think of all the ways he can probably save her, or try and get her out of there, but it's not wanting to work in his head, so he's trying to rip her out, but this is when the sludge villain would actually just pull him in. It's thinking that now, if he can just get out of the city with two different people, he can regroup later and actually just figure out what to do next. All Might would then arrive, actually sending the villain flying and saving both Deku and Toga. All Might would then say that that was a pretty heroic effort, but he's not a hero yet. But he's not a hero yet, but it's good for him to try and at least save people. Now, as soon as Deku actually did stand up to get his notebook, he would have reached out to grab it, but his hand would immediately jerk back as he would just start covering the area where he got shot at with his hand. And this is whenever Toga's saying that he's bleeding and that it opened up again. Now, All Might wasn't really there for the whole explanation that night about the vigilante, but this is whenever Deku would just say that it's fine and they might be able to just patch him up when he gets home. All Might's asking about this, and Deku would just say that the other day he was training back at home and he kind of fell on something. So All Might would just understand this and actually jump away with the sludge villain. So then, Deku would actually help Toga train. Well, before that, Bakugo would actually be attacked by a sludge villain back on the other side of town because All Might would just be reckless with his power, actually thinking that he spent too much time talking to the kid and being concerned, so he would have done a stronger leap. This would have actually let one of the bottles loose, and the sludge villain would get out, trying to attack Bakugo. Deku would have immediately ran over as soon as he saw the explosion, and this is whenever him and Toga would immediately try to help Bakugo. He would have saw him, and he's asking the heroes what are they doing, why aren't they doing anything, and they would immediately just say that no one has the right quirk. He would immediately try running in again, and this time he would actually throw his backpack, along with taking off one of his, well, not taking off his, he would have taken off his, he would take off his school jacket and actually somewhat throw it over the villain's eyes, trying to distract it. And this is whenever All Might would arrive as Deku's trying to pull Bakugo out. He would throw the villain with a punch, just sending it flying. No one ever specified if that guy died or if he's still alive, so don't question it. This is whenever Deku would then say that, or All Might would then say that Deku was a hero. It was nice they tried doing that, but everyone's commenting on his blood stain on his shirt. And this is whenever Snipe, I want to say Snipe would probably be around the area. Someone who's probably was at that meeting would probably see the exact place where the blood's at or how big the stream is. But it would probably have been dry at this point, so Deku would have just told everyone it's fine, and he just fell at home. Now, All Might would actually offer Deku one for all, and Deku would actually take this as an opportunity to enhance his entire body. Now, Toga is saying that that's kind of cool, how he can enhance his entire body now, or he wouldn't get the quirk yet, but he would just be told by All Might that he needs to train his body and actually learn how to use it properly. So Deku would then, he's already in around, not in, he is already in a good physical shape to take one for all. So he's at least stronger than Canon Deku at this point, a lot stronger. And he would actually take the power. Now, he would have immediately, as soon as he got the power, they're at the, oh my god, they are at the dump at, yeah, I'm trying to remember the exact name of those places. They're at a like trash dump or a pile up, and they're talking about how this is going to be stupid, but it might look cool. And she's asking why they're even here, and Deku would just explain that he actually salvages a lot of his gear from this area. She's saying what he means, and he would just explain that he salvages weights from this area, he salvages resources. Heck, this is where he actually found the trigger for his gun, or his grapple gun. And he would immediately just throw a punch at a giant pile of rubble, or a giant pile of trash, and send it flying away. Now, this place is actually so big that no one would ever notice, because it's essentially just been piling up for over 200 years, and it's gotten to the point where it might as well be as big as the island is, I think it's called Easter Island, the island that the Statue of Liberty is on. So no one would really question how or what that was. They would think it was just another mound falling over again. Tuesday already. That makes 3. Now then. Deku is actually saying that that wasn't good, and he would actually have to go... Well, he would actually talk with All Might, saying that that actually broke his arm. All Might would explain that he just has to let the power flow through him, and Deku would just say, what the fuck does he mean by that? Now, I have probably cursed 3 times in this video. I'm glad I am not monetized. That is stupid. Hey, we're going to demonetize everything that's not made for children on this platform we have made for kids 13 and up. Why? Money! Yay. I'm really happy that the FCC doesn't think that that's gonna get fucking signed off on. No one is gonna fucking agree to that. They just want to line their fucking wallets with gold. Now, in case this video does get claimed, fuck. Alright guys, I hope you, or not enjoyed, but I can still go on. I usually do 23 minutes. I'm sorry about that small little rant. It's just that does not make any sense to me still. Now then. Deku's explaining to All Might what happened. All Might saying that the quirk it seems like the quirk is stronger than he thought now. And Deku has to actually just let the power flow through him. Deku would try and slap All Might with his broken arm. And All Might would just be confused, saying that he just has to let the power flow. Deku would just scream at him, "What the fuck do you mean?" As All Might would then just sigh and start breaking down crying. I'm joking. He would just say that he means exactly what he thinks he means, and Toga would just say that it might be how her quirk works. He would turn with somewhat of an irritated look on his face, saying that, what does she mean? And she would just say that whenever she copies someone's quirk, or not quirk, whenever she copies someone's physical body, the way they look, it affects her entire body. So it might work the same way, right? Deku would say that that kinda makes sense, and All Might would just say that that's what he means by let the power flow through him. Deku would immediately look back at All Might and just not say anything, as he would get his arm healed and actually try letting the power flow throughout his body. Now this would actually work, and Deku would immediately go back to the graveyard or graveyard. He's not a fucking grave robber, Kirosho. I'm sorry, this is the most I've cursed in a video. This is probably new to a lot of people. Now, this is whenever Deku Him and Toga would go back to the trash dump, and him and her are actually cleaning this place up, organizing, and well, not organizing, but they're kind of sorting or just moving things out of the areas they work out at to actually make a little hideout. And this is whenever they would eventually find the ruins of an old car that seemed to have just been buried under that entire mountain of an entire mountain of trash for 100 years. Deku would then try checking the engine, and it's out of gas. He would then look closer at it, and then he would say these simple words. It's a V6, not a V8. I'm sorry. Anyway, guys, that's what I'm going to be leaving this off of. I am having a bit of a mental breakdown. I think my head hurts, my eyes won't stop hurting. I'm just going to try and get another part out of the